talk about the eldest daughter and her relationship with rest. See, what you have to understand about the eldest daughter is that she has a complicated relationship with rest because of a couple of things, and I'll tell you why. See, the eldest daughter is supposed to be attached to the father, which means that her relationship with her father is so paramount. But if it's fragmented, then that's how we even get the eldest daughter, because he has relinquished his role. So that means that the eldest daughter has been a provider since she was a child. But not only has she been a provider, she's also been a caregiver, because once the father relinquishes his role, then she is now the spouse of her mother. So you got to understand that her siblings are now her children, and sometimes even her mother. So that has also made the eldest daughter a caregiver. But even more than a caregiver, the eldest daughter has been parentified since she was a child. So she has more than likely come from parents who were emotionally immature. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because this is very important, because the eldest daughter has never rested. And she's never rested is because she hasn't been able to be settled in her body enough to relax and get sleep. Even more than that, the eldest daughter has a very complicated relationship with sleep, because sleep for her is non-existent because she doesn't know how to rest. See, if the eldest daughter knew how to rest, then she could sleep. But the problem is that she lives in her head. She can never turn this thing off enough to settle in her body to relax so that she can get some sleep and rest. This is important for you to know, because a lot of eldest daughters right today struggle with sleeping and feel very conflicted when they're doing it, because they feel their work and their worth is tied to when they're busy. When you have been conditioned to feel like you're only as valuable as you are busy, then for you, rest doesn't exist. And not only does it not exist, it is absolutely contradictory to what you know to be true. See, what you have to understand is that rest is a foreign concept to the eldest daughter. And it's foreign because she's never witnessed her mother rest, but even more is she was never allowed to rest. Because when she was resting or trying to, like most kids, take a minute, she was dubbed as lazy. And she was told that she always had to be doing something, whether it was going to school, picking up siblings, working, doing something for the family, or even more, working. This daughter has been working for her family since she was able to get a job. But I need for you to understand is that the eldest daughter has not just been working for the sake of working, but she's been working to release some of the burden on the family. Now, what makes this so ironic about the eldest daughter and her relationship with rest is that the eldest daughter is very smart. And as soon as her parents knew that she was smart, they pushed her in a way that kept her busy with activities in school and work. But what they didn't realize is that they also kept her busy with the stress of what the family needed in order to be good. Now, what you have to understand is that from the very young age, the eldest daughter has been praised for her accolades. There was no such thing as anything less than excellence. So that means there were no C's and D's, only A's and B's, and a B was pushing it. But also you have to realize is that she was also pushed, on the other hand, to realize the importance of provision in her household. So whether she was being told what was needed, she was also in earshot to hear the burdens of her family and what was needed and what was lacking. And like most kids, you love your parents, you want to help them, because you got to remember, even though the eldest daughter is the eldest, she's also was a child, but she loved her family, right? So she's thinking, I have to do something to help. So for the eldest daughter, as an adult now, her mind is still wired the same way. And if she has a family, she oftentimes can't even enjoy the things that she's acquired or even her family, because When something is needed in her house, she immediately goes into overdrive mode. If her kids need something, she immediately thinking about, I have to get it. If my spouse needs something, I got to get it. If my family still needs something, I got to get it. If my siblings need something, I got to get it. So in her mind, she is still a grown woman. Although she's a grown woman, she is still a child trying to have the life that she really deserved. For a lot of these eldest daughters, they struggle with sleep. A lot of them get maybe 4 hours of sleep, if that, maybe possibly less. They don't get much sleep. They can't sleep. They're up all night. A lot of them, I hate to say this, but they're on social media scrolling, doom scrolling, because they can't seem to settle their minds. A lot of them take alternative drugs in order to sleep, right? They may take, edibles or CBD. Some of them may even drink. Some of them may take Tylenol PM. Some of them may smoke, vape. But this is what I want you to understand, even as I say this. A lot of them, even if they have addictions, are addictions based on the dysfunction of family dynamics. I hate to say it, it's systemic. So a lot of them are really dealing with problems that are not really their own. They're inherited. And so for the eldest daughter, rest is something that they haven't quite pinned down yet. If they could rest their minds and their hearts, they could sleep. If they could relinquish feeling obligated to the family system, they could rest, they could sleep. If they could implement a boundary and keep it, they could rest, they could sleep. If they could look at getting a different job that they knew that they didn't have to have for the currency in order to provide for their family, they could rest. If they could feel in their somewhere deep in their hearts that they could take time off, they could rest. If they knew that they had a partner that was really a partner, they could rest. If some of them weren't single parents doing it all on their own, they could rest. If more of them had community, they could rest. If more of them had friends and people around them that really saw them, because very rarely are they seen, they could rest. If they could be honest, they could rest. If they didn't have to continue to be so perfect, which I don't really believe that word exists, but just for the sake of explaining this, they could rest. So my hope for this eldest daughter, first of all, is I love you and I see you. I get it. But my hope for you is that you begin to put you first. My hope for you is that you begin to get back in your body, step out in nature, begin to connect with your creative side. It's through that portal and that portal only that you will begin to see that you are more than just what you can do, but just who you are. My hope for this eldest daughter is that she finds something that settles her spirit and her soul, and that she can begin to slowly come back home to herself and recognize that rest is not something that you have to work for, that it is really your birthright.